السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. قال الله تبارك وتعالى في الكلام المجيد والفرقان الحميد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على Inshallah, we are going to concentrate on the Tafseer of Surah Al Muzammil, that is chapter 73. During the Tafseer, this is going to be in English, but sometimes I might use some parts in Urdu as well, some relevance, so please excuse me if I'm using some words of Urdu in between. If I am giving the chance to give another name to the surah, because most of the surahs, they have got various names, like Surah Al-Fatiha has got so many names and different surahs of that. If I was allowed to give a chance to have another name, I would have given the name, rather than Al Muzammil, Al Muhabbat, the love. Because this is the surah which was revealed very soon in the early stages. The first surah or the first few ayat were of Surah Iqra. Then Iqra Bismi Rabbikal Ladhi. These were the first ayat revealed in Rasulullah. This was the first one. And the consensus is that the second wahi is from Surah Al-Qalam. Noon wal qalami wa ma yasturoon. And then this is the third, and Surah Muzammil and Surah Mudassir, they say third or fourth wahis are these. So this is the very early stages where these ayat were revealed. One point I want to mention about Surah Al Muzammil is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has shown love to our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you give respect and love somebody, you do not ask them by their name or call them in by name. Like your father, if your father's name is Abdurrahman, you won't call your father Abdurrahman. No, you will call my father, dad, and so on and so on. Show respect. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves the prophets. He has called various Anbiya with their names. He says, Ya Adam, Ya Ibrahim, Ya Nuh, Ya Musa, Ya Isa, Ya Dawood, Ya Sulaiman. If you look in Al-Quran Al-Kareem, this is the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has addressed them. But as far as Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is concerned, he never said in the Quran, Ya Muhammad. Look into the Quran, there is no way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya Muhammad. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's name is mentioned in Al-Quran Al-Kareem 4 times. In Surah Al Imran, in Surah Fatah, Surah Ahzab, another place. So 4 places is mentioned in Surah Ahzab, Surah Fatah, Surah Muhammad itself, and 4 times as Muhammad, and 1 time is Ahmad in Surah As-Saf. Okay, but this way the Rasulullah name is mentioned in connection with the Risala. Muhammadur Rasulullah wallazina ma'ahu. Muhammad is your prophet. In connection with Risala, not addressing him as Muhammad. So whenever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to address the Prophet he has used Ya ayyuhan Nabi, Ya ayyuhan Rasul, Ya ayyuhal Muzammil, Ya ayyuhal Mudassir. This is the 4 ways of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if you love somebody, instead of telling their name, you call with some love. As in Urdu, we have noticed some mothers with their love their children. They call my sitara, my chand, meri aankhon ki thandak. This is the way, mera chand. This is very common. So they don't call the child with their name. But another give a name of love. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given this Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this is the surah called Ya Ayyuhal Muzammil. That is, just want to say that this surah is giving the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the Prophet. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves him so much. As far as the other prophets are concerned, when they were asked questions and things, they have to reply on the river. When people started saying, Rasulullah, when he started preaching, then the people started telling him that, Nauzubillah, he's Majnoon, mad person. Nauzubillah, they said he's Sahir, he is kind. These are the things which they have used, that he is fortune teller, or he is affected by some mental illness, or he is a magician. He can split the families. He can convert the people's mind, and he's controlling. The families are divided. The children are going against the parents, and so on and so forth. These are the things they were telling. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves him. So instead of he replying, he says in Surah Al Noon, wal qalami ma yastarun, ma majnoon. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is replying on behalf of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Don't tell him he is not mad, he is not majnoon. In so many places. Musa alayhi salam wants his heart to be open, chest to be open. So he says, Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, open my chest, make things easier. And Rasulullah never have to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He said, oh my beloved, without your asking, I am going to say, Alam nashrah laka sadrak. We have opened your heart and your chest. This is the difference I'm telling you, is what happened in Miraj. Musa alayhi salam wants to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, talk to him. He has to fast for 30 days. He has to travel from his house to the mountain, to climb up, and then he wants to talk to Allah. As far as Rasul is concerned, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you don't have to walk. We are going to send you a transport. The Buraq was there. So he was collected, not from the house, brought from a holy mosque to another holy mosque. From Masjid al-Haram to Masjid al-Aqsa. And from there, ascension, the Buraq took him into the heavens. And a place called Sidratul Muntaha, that is, nobody can cross that except Rasulullah was given the permission to cross. He was close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sat in front, talked, and the beauty is that a person who comes from outside to a person who is already present, he says salam. But as soon as Rasulullah comes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying salam to Rasulullah. That's what we recite in Qaida. At-tahiyyatu lillahi was-salawatu wat-tayyibatu. Assalamu alayka ayyuhan nabi. Salam on you, O my Nabi. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling before Rasulullah can say anything, he is welcoming. So this is just, want to mention before starting the surah, this is the surah of Allah. Love, love and love. So that's why I was saying, if I was given the chance to give another name, I will call this surah, Surah Muhabbat. Muhabbat means love. Anyway, coming to the surah itself, the Shan Nuzul is that why this surah was revealed and why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has addressed him. And this is Jabir bin Abdullah narrated this hadith that in the early stages what happens is there was a consensus in Darul Nadwa. There was a place where all the leaders of the Quraysh used to join together, and there is a problem, they used to say. Then they started saying that this person is coming and claiming something. What shall be our reaction? Then somebody said that we have to give him a name called he is affected by the jinn or some spirit has contacted him, and that's why he started telling all these things. Because all this year, we know him till he was 40 years of age, never said anything like this. And he was the most trusted and most honest and most truthful person. Never said any lie in his life. And whenever everything put trust on him, he never mistrusted anything. So the trust was completely 100% given by this person. And suddenly he has been affected. It could be that he used to go and sit in a cave. Could be some spirit has come on him, and that's why he started telling like this. So they started telling him, Kahin, Majnoon and Sahir. And this news was revealed to Rasulullah. He was at home and somebody came and told him that there was a consensus in Darul Nadwa. And the people are telling you, what should we call you from now onwards? And some suggested to call Sahir, some suggested to call him Majnoon, and some suggested to call him Kahin. So once these things were told, Rasulullah was affected. He felt sad about this, that this ummah, these people of Quraysh, they know me, and now they want to address me in these words. So this was the common practice in Arab. If you are affected and you want to cut off from everybody, they used to cover their covering all over to cover even their head. Now it happens that in very cold weather, what happens is when you are sleeping, then you not only cover yourself, but even you cover your head, your eyes and ears everywhere. So this is what Rasulullah did, covering himself. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing, Ya ayyuhal muzammil, who has covered himself all around from the head, ears and eyes and everywhere. This is the way of addressing. This is the basic Shan-e Nuzul of this ayah. Now, if you look at this surah, it has got 20 ayah and 2 rukus. And this is something unique in this surah, which I haven't come across in another surah. From 1 ayah to 19 ayah is in 1 ruku, and the whole of the second ruku is only 1 ayah. Ayah number 20 is the only ayah which comprises the whole of second ruku. So the first ruku is from 1 to 19 ayah. The second ruku is only 1 ayah, that is ayah number 2. Now, going into this explanation of these ayahs, the initial 5 ayahs are addressed to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then, ayah number 6 to 13 is a common address to the believers. And from then onwards, the address is to the non-believers. 3 ayahs again to the non-believers, warning them of the hellfire, what is going to happen if they don't accept. And you go to the opposite side to fight against him, to argue with him, to try to humiliate with him. 3 things they have mentioned, and these are going to lead you to the hellfire and description of what is going to happen in hellfire. Other thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says is about Qiyamah. What is going to happen in the Qiyamah, the earth and the skies and the mountains, these things are mentioned. So these are the things Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned. One point I notice in this surah is usually Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he is addressing the humanity, he mentioned about Tafseer, and that is giving good tidings. And also ayah of Nazir means warning. Warning to the non-believers and good tidings to the believers. This is the usual habit of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But in this surah, there is nothing about Tafseer. Nothing saying about the good tidings for the Muslims. The only thing is ayah of warning. Why? Because this is the early stage. Who are the believers at this time? You can count on your fingers. Khadijatul Kubra radhiyallahu ta'ala anha, Abu Bakr Siddiq radhiyallahu ta'ala anha, Ali radhiyallahu ta'ala anha, and Zaid bin Harisa. These are the 4 people who have accepted Islam. These are the 4 people who are called as the first people who accepted Islam. And these are the only 4 people. So for them, they don't need to be given good tidings. Their faith is very, very strong in their heart. Usually the glad tidings and warning comes when the people are there, the majority is there, and some of them have got strong heart and strong faith, and some have weaker heart and weaker faith. For them is glad tidings, saying that you are going to enter paradise, and the paradise has got all these good things. But in this situation, there are only 4 people, and they have got highest of iman and faith. So there is no need for them to say about the Jannah and good tidings, glad tidings. But there is the majority now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing are non-believers. So for them, warning, move them. Why people say that, oh, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is love. We preach God is love. And why in your holy book is mentioned about fear and warning and this and that? What happens is Shaitan has got so much effect on people, he is trying to mislead. So if you have started giving glad tidings in the beginning itself, they are going to ignore. So this is the time to shake them, to warn them, to listen to what is going to happen. This is the most important thing. That's why in this surah there are no ayat of glad tidings, it's ayat of warnings are there. So this is the basic message from the Surah Al Muzammil. The basic points mentioned in this is addressing Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Hum, stand up. You are lying or covering yourself. Now leave everything and stand. The second order is given about performing the salah. The details of performing the Qiyamul Layl, which is Tahajjud prayers. This is very important thing because initially this was the only salah given to Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. 5 times salah were given in Mi'raj. Okay. Before that, only one salah that Rasulullah used to perform was Qiyamul Layl at night. Now, before in the initial stages, Rasulullah used to go to the cave, and he used to go and think about and used to have relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because in Ayyam Jahiliyyah, all the Quraysh used to believe there is a God, and they used to call Allah. It was known to them, but they had all different small gods. For rain this one, for happiness this one, for food this one, this one. And so 365 idols were there, they used to pray. But they used to have that, the top one who is on the top is Allah. They used to have. So Rasulullah used to go into the cave, used to have connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that the ulama has called is at-tahannus. The word they have used is tahannus. So now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling them the time of tahannus is finished. Now we have to stand and perform the salah. And this was the Qiyamul Layl, so tahajjud prayers. Now, apart from that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling him how to perform the salah, how much time to be spending in this. Half of the night, or little bit more than half, or less than half. That is 1/3 or 2/3. This is the beginning of this. And then immediately whatever the ayah of Al-Quran Al-Kareem are revealed to Rasulullah. Rasulullah is asked to recite them in tartil. Warattil al-Qur'ana tartil. So what is tartil? Means to recite Quran slowly, understanding, having faith on it, to act upon it. Okay? And it was happening that tartil slowly. When Aisha radiallahu anha asked how Rasulullah used to recite, these are the people who came afterwards, youngsters, they used to come and ask. In the explanation, Salma also explained that he used to say, Bismillah, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, dividing them stop. Not starting very, very. This is Surah Al-Fatiha. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin. No. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin. And Sahaba explained what used to happen. Rasulullah when he is reciting, when the ayah of punishment comes, Rasulullah's voice was totally different. Somebody who is a bit fearful. To show fear that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is angry, or telling them, warning about the hellfire. Show fear when you are reciting these ayah. And suddenly when the ayah of Jannah and pleasure, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's ni'mah is playing, show happiness in your voice. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing relief for us, and immediately show in your heart the happiness. And then Huzaifa Razillah Ta'ala says in one of the hadith, then I have been very close to Rasulullah. In one time he was performing the night prayer, and when these ayah of warning and the hell came, Rasulullah stopped and said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, please protect me from the hellfire. And when the ayah came about Jannah and the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make me among the people who you are going to reward. This is what Allah. And because he was very close to Rasulullah, he heard these words Rasulullah said after this ayah. Rasulullah recited Surah Al-Rahman in front of the Sahaba, and they kept quiet and listened. When he finished, he looked at the Sahaba. He said, the jinn were better than you. And the Sahaba asked, what do you mean? He said, when I recited this surah in front of the jinn, but every time I was saying that the questions are asked from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Are you not happy, or do you ignore, or do you lie about the name I am giving to you? Are you not grateful to the name I am giving to you? فَبِأَيِّ أَعْلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking 33 times in this surah. And Rasulullah said that every time I recited this ayah, immediately after this ayah, all the jinn said, no, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are grateful. We are not rejecting it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are grateful to you. We are grateful for the name you are given to us. So some said that the jinn, every time I recited, فَبِأَيِّ عَلَىٰ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ, they immediately replied after this ayah. And I recited the whole surah in front of you, and you put your head down and didn't say anything. So this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants, some response to whatever he's saying. So when we are reciting the Quran al-Karim, try and know what we are saying and have that effect in our heart and act upon it and show gratefulness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As far as Al-Quran al-Karim is concerned, the ulama has given so many contribution of what happens about Quran. As far as the Al-Quran al-Karim is that, there are some orders there. Recite it. Listen when it is being recited, because there is an ayah of Al-Quran al-Karim saying that whenever Quran is recited, فَأَنْسِتُوا فَاسْتَمِعُوا, the word is used is فَاسْتَمِعُوا. In Arabic, if you say فَاسْمَعُوا, listen to. What the word is used, فَاسْتَمِعُوا, means listen to you with full concentration, and we say a word in English which is called pin drop silence. When Quran is recited, no, 100% concentration, listen to it. So recite the Quran, listen to if it is recited, accept it, believe it, have faith on it, understand it, act upon it, and spread it. So there were 8 points are mentioned about our Quran al-Karim. That You have to faith on it. You have to understand it. You have to accept it. You have to practice it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving his awamir and nahi. You have not only to listen and accept it, but act upon it, what the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's orders is. Otherwise, Allah is giving you an order, you are listening and just rejecting it. This is not, you are not giving the haqq of Al-Quran. So, these are the 8 points given by ulama, so as far as the Quran is concerned. So, when we are doing recitation or listening, act upon it, then this is the duty of every Muslim, is that to understand it and act upon it. So this is our Quran. وَرَتِّلِ الْقُرْآنَ تَرْتِيلًا. It's not only that recite or listen, but to understand, accept it, and act upon it. And whenever these ayah of warning comes, you have to have some reaction. Whenever ayah of good tidings and ni'mah comes, you have to show gratefulness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahumma hafizna. Whenever you listen to any ayah of warning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I am going to throw them in hellfire. Allahumma hafizna, Allahumma hafizna, Allahumma. And whenever he says, I am going to send these people who are salihin to good places in Jannah, Allahumma ja'alna min al-nasara. Allahumma ja'alna minhum, Allahumma ja'alna minhum, Allahumma ja'alna minhum. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us also part of them who are the salihin. This is the reaction one should have. So, Warattilul Quran Tartila, this is the way one should. Then after that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that stand up, perform the salah. And this is the salah. And then when you are performing the salah, cut yourself from everybody else. Okay? When you say Takbir Tahrima, we have to raise our hand. Allahu Akbar. What is the significance of raising one hand? If you see if somebody is involved in some discussion and things like that, and suddenly he wants to disassociate from this, he says, okay, I am raising my hand. I am moving away from this thing. So raising your hands is you are cutting yourself away from all worldly activities. And then once you fold your hands, now I am 100% in your presence. So this is the love to show. And as far as Rasulullah said, we know about going to the worldly love. People who are youngsters who get involved in love. There is a lover and a beloved. They look forward to an occasion to meet the beloved. They contact, when do you meet? Okay, tomorrow such and such. So he's thinking all the time of tomorrow. At that time, he's planning and loving for that second and minute to come to meet. And as far as Rasulullah is concerned, this is the time to meet the beloved. Allah says, my Habib. So he's going to stand in front. And this is not the salah like you and me perform. This is the salah where between the one who loves and the one who is beloved. Rasulullah is standing and closest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As far as we are concerned, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Rasulullah says that as far as you are concerned, as-salatu mi'rajul mu'minin. This is your mi'raj. You are talking about my mi'raj going, this is your mi'raj because you are standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you are going to recite Surah Al-Fatiha. There is no salah without Surah Al-Fatiha. There is no rakah without Surah Al-Fatiha. And what is Surah Al-Fatiha? In Sahih Muslim there is a detailed hadith. It says that this surah is divided between me and my servant. Half and half. He is asking me something and I am going to listen to him and I am going to reward for whatever he has asked me. So this is, you are talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala one in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the only occasion you are closest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, talking to him, and he's going to reply to you. The next place is Yawm al-Qiyamah. All the humanity will be standing, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to come down, and then he is going to talk. So, before that, this is the only place where you are closest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, Salatul Mirajul Mu'minin. So, as far as Rasulullah is concerned, from moving from tahannus, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ordering and telling that going to be a heavy burden is going to be given to you. I'm just going to say the first couple of ayahs so that we know what we are talking about. I'm giving أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها المزمل قم الليل إلا قليلا نصفه أو انقص منه قليلا أو زد عليه ورتل القرآن ترتيلا إنا سنلقي عليك قولا ثقيلا. We are going to give you a very heavy burden on you. And as far as this is concerned, the best place is Tafseer by Imam Razi. In Tafseer, Imam Razi has given very explanation about what is Saqil, what the burden is, what is the heaviness is there. I have selected only 5 or 6 points from what this Saqil means. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was being in the condition of tahannus, I mentioned in the cave. From that place, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that now sitting and thinking and having a relationship, that period is over now. No stand up. Gird your loins. Make sure that you have become stronger. Standing, there is going to be a heavy load given to you. From tahannus to salah, this is a heaviness, because that was a very nice time doing muraqabah, which we say, quietly and doing nothing. Now you have to stand, take the action and take the heaviness of this. This is one explanation given. The second one is that now you are going to go through people telling all sorts of things, giving you names what they started giving. So be strong to accept whatever challenges are coming. Okay. Then there is going to be orders coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-Quran al-Kareem is going to be revealed to you, and this is very heavy. In Surah Al-Ahzab, the last ayah, if you go, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the mountains, yeah? And the heavens and the earth, and to say that I want to give you an amanah. And they all replied, you are not going to be able to hold it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave this heaviness to the humanity through our Rasul. لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله. If we would have revealed this Quran on a mountain, it would have crashed into pieces with the heaviness of our Quran. So this Quran is called a saqil. So one is to move from the tahannus to the salah, is heaviness. Al-Quran al-Kareem is there, that is again a heaviness given to you. And then you are going to have awamir and nahi. These are very strong things given to you. Whatever the law, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's orders are coming, you have to accept it. Awamir and nahi. And the third thing is that you have to fight against your nafs. This is very heavy. Then Rasulullah said that afzalul jihad ala nafsi. The highest jihad is that to go against your nafs. Early morning, cold weather, the fajr time is there. You want to be warm, don't want to get up. This is the time. Alhamdulillah, this is now the timings are such that you can perform the fajr salat for quite a long time. But I'm telling about the winter time, where the fajr finishes at like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. That is the time to wake up in the cold weather, to wake up and do wuzu and perform the salah. So you have to fight against your nafs. All the time in your life, there will be every minute and every second, there will be a point of you have to take actions against your nafs. Because your nafs all the time tells you to do things which are against the orders of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you have to fight. You are living in a place, you need money, the various things are there, the banks are there, the mortgage is there, the loans are there, the interest is there. How? Are you going to accept the rules of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or you are going to listen to your Lord? He says, oh, this is the period, you can't be without taking interest, you can't be without this, otherwise how you are going to survive? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that it's only one place. Not about the wine drinking, not about lying, not about killing, not about... Only thing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that you and me, O Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, are going to have war with these people. And that is the only place is about interest. Whoever is taking interest involved, they are having a fight with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is the only place mentioned in the Quran. And today's life, what are you doing to? Are we listening to the orders of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or are we listening to the orders of our nafs? This is another heaviness is mentioned. Imam Razi has mentioned all these points, that what is called saqil, taking from tahannus to the salam, al-Quran al-Kareem, going against your nafs, awamir al-nahi, and then fighting against the people, spreading the deen. This is again called saqil. You have to go and knock on the people's houses to tell them, accept Allah, don't worship these idols. And that's why Surah was, the people, they came and fought against him, they humiliated him, they called him names because he wanted to spread. So dawah, again, is called saqil. And another thing to remember is to establish a government. In these situations was again called saqil. Rasulullah established a government in Medina. Otherwise, he could have performed the salah and then listen to whatever the orders are coming, stay there. There were, Bani Israel were very strong in Medina. The Aws and Khazraj were very strong in Medina. They used to have their government going around. There was no need to interfere. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, no, this is the place you have to establish a government. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's orders should be there, obeyed as they are obeyed in heaven, they should be obeyed on the earth. That Rasulullah has to establish. To establish, then he had to have fight. There were so many, Battle of Badr, Battle of Uhud, Battle of Khandaq. There were so many fights going on to establish the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on earth. And as far as Isa Islam was concerned, the chapter where it says that, oh Lord, thy kingdom come as it is in heaven. I want to establish your kingdom on earth as it is established on heaven. In heaven, is there anybody disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? No. So on earth, Allah's orders are there, but we are following our own orders. Orders given by the government, given by our elders, so on and so forth. But to have establishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the earth, for that is a holy saqil. Razi mentioned all these points, that what is holy saqil, and he discussed. So I mentioned a couple of them, what is holy saqil. So after this, inshallah, we are going to go very quickly. I'm sorry I've taken so much time. And then comes about do everything, then prepare about tawakkul. The word wakila is used about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But for us, we have got our own idea of what tawakkul is there. If you ask some people, tawakkul means you don't have to do anything. Just depend that Allah is going to do everything for you. That is not tawakkul. Rasulullah, because in Tirmidhi there is a hadith. A person came from outside to meet Rasulullah. on a camel, left the camel outside, came to Rasulullah, said, "O Prophet of Allah, as far as my camel is concerned, shall I tie the camel or shall I leave it and have tawakkul on Allah that by the time I come, if I don't find, Allah is going to find that camel for me?" Rasulullah said, "No." He said, "Go and tie that camel, come and stay with me and have tawakkul that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to keep him there when you go back. That is tawakkul." As far as the tawakkul concerned, the scholars have given a couple of points I will just share with you. Whenever you want to do anything, the first thing is you must have a mashwara. Discuss. Whoever you trust people, discuss with you. Sit down with them. Mashwara, shura is very important. There is a surah called Shura in Al-Quran al-Karim to have consensus. And Rasulullah himself, although he is receiving the wahi, okay, but he used to have mashwara with the Sahaba. What happened in Battle of Uhud? There was a mashwara done, and they said, "We will all fight outside Medina." But Rasulullah wanted, his own opinion was to fight inside Medina. But the Sahaba said, "No, no, no." Then he said, "Okay, the majority says, I'll accept it." He went inside and put the armor. When he came back, the Sahaba are thinking, "Oh, Rasulullah wanted to have the fight in Medina. I think we should drop whatever he said and we'll say, okay, we'll obey." When he came back, he said, "No, no, no, we decided now to drop it." He said, "No, once I wear this armor, the prophets, they never turn back on whatever was discussed." So first thing is that when you want to do anything, have a consensus or mashwara. The second thing is to get the results of whatever the mashwara was there. Okay. The third thing is that plan it, how it should be done. The fourth thing is that act upon it. And the fifth thing is have tawakkul on Allah that He is going to give you victory. So that is the fifth stage it comes. And after the victory, if the outcome is that you have lost or you have been successful. If you have lost, then pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what we did was not right. Please accept our shortcoming and give us guidance for whatever is the best. And suppose if you are successful, you have to do astaghfar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this success has not come because of our planning, it has come because of your granting of your ni'mah. This has come. And we ask you for forgiveness if anything wrong goes on because of our planning, whatever it is. So always say that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests you, Rasulullah said that my ummah has got the benefit of both. There are only two conditions can happen. Either you are going to go through trials and tribulations, or you are going to go through success and ni'mah. When the trial and tribulation comes, my ummah is going to observe sabr. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards for observing sabr. When a good thing happens, they immediately do shukr, to show gratefulness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewards for showing gratefulness. So this is the best thing happening to the ummah. So either trial or tribulation or success, both way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to reward. This is the point I want to mention about tawakkul. Tawakkul is not that you have to sit down and think, okay, I'm hungry, I don't want to do anything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to send food for me. No. Rasulullah said that, look, if you have tawakkul on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, do whatever in your hand, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to feed you. This is the promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He is the Razzaq and He is responsible for feeding. And one of the chapters starts that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all the animals or each and every living creature on earth, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's responsibility is to feed them all. So how can He forget us, that He is not going to feed us? So this is very important point about the tawakkul I mentioned. Inshallah, we are going to go. This is the background I gave you, and inshallah, with the recitation, I'm going to say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I recited the first few ayahs. Ya ayyuhal muzammil, qumil layla illa qalila, nisfahu aw inqus minhu qalila, aw zid alayhi wa rattilil Qur'ana tartila, inna sanulqiya alayka qawlan thaqila, inna nashiyatal layli hiya ashaddu wat'an wa aqwamu qila, inna laka fin nahari sabhan tabila. واذكر اسم ربك وتبتل إليه تبتيلا رب المشرق والمغرب لا إله إلا هو فاتخذه وكيلا. So these are the 9 I recited as, O you who is wrapped up in the garment, rise to pray in the night, except a little, half of it or a little less than that, or increase it and recite the Quran gradually, giving intervals. We will put on you the responsibility of delivering a weighty statement. The rising at night for righteous work certainly gives rise to more strength of coordination and firmly established speeches. Because ayah number 7 is, during the day you certainly have prolonged occupation, because during the day Rasulullah has to go and do the dawah and preaching people. And this is the night time Rasulullah stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And remember the name of your Lord and devote yourself to Him with exclusive devotion. That is how you have to perform the salah. Raise with hands with takbir tahrima to dissociate yourself from the rest of the world, and fold your hands on your chest. That means you are 100% concentrated on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And remember the name of your fosterer and devote yourself to Him with exclusive devotion. Remember the name of your Lord with the names. But the name is mentioned. According to this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could have said that, remember your Lord. But He has said Ism, because when you mention the Ism of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that gives you more closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To call Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with various names. Ya Allah, Ya Razzaq, Ya Arham, Ya Ghafurur Rahim. And you look at the translation, then you have got closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given the beautiful name in the last ayah of Surah Al-Hajj. If you go and decide that Surah Al-Hajj, the last ayah, والله الذي لا إله إلا هو عالم الغيب والشهادة هو الرحمن والله الخالق البارئ والمصور له الأسماء الحسنى يسبح له ما في السماوات والأرض وهو العزيز. So go back and read this ayah, the last ayah of Surah Al-Hajj. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the beautiful names of Asma al-Husna. So remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with His name, because if you remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what happens? Hassan Basri said that, I know when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is remembering me. People say, oh, you have such a high status that Allah, you know when Allah is remembering you. I said, no, don't think that I'm up high. I'm telling you from the ayah of Al-Quran Al-Kareem, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَاذْكُرُونِي أَذْكُرْكُمْ وَاشْكُرُوا لِي وَلَا تَكْفُرُونَ. You remember me, I will remember you. So when I'm remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is remembering me. If you say my name in front of few people sitting around you, I will mention your name in a better company, that is the company of angels in earth. Your name. My servant has remembered me. So I am telling you his name to the angels. So fazkuruni azkurkum. जिसको तुम भूल गए याद करे कौन उसको. जिसको तुम भूल गए, याद करे कौन उसको? जिसको तुम याद हो वो और किसे याद करे? जिसको तुम याद हो वो और किसे याद करे? जिसको तुम भूल गए याद। वला तक़ूलू कल्लज़ीना नसुल्लाह फ़अन्साहुम अन्फुसहुम। Surah Al says that don't be like those people who forgot me, then I made them to forget their own self. فَلَا تَقُولُوا كَالَّذِينَ نَسُوا اللَّهَ فَأَنْسَاهُمْ أَنفُسَهُم. I made them forget their own self. So don't be like those people who forget me. So always remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَاذْكُرُونِي أَذْكُرْكُمْ وَاشْكُرُوا لِي وَلَا تَكْفُرُونَ. So be grateful to me, never be ungrateful to me. That is why Abdullah bin Masud radhiyallahu anhu says, حَقَّ تُقَاتِهِ وَلَا تَمُوتُنَّ إِلَّا وَأَنْتُمْ مُسْلِمُونَ. This ayah was revealed. And then he went and asked Rasulullah, what is the haqq of taqwa? Then Rasulullah replied, there are three things. Remember Allah, don't forget Him. Obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, don't be disobedient to Him. This is very, very important point. And show gratefulness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah? So remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Show gratefulness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't be ungrateful to Him. And obey and worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't be disobedient. Because why we are clean? وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. The humanity is created for no other purpose. You might think, I have to do this and this and this. No. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, no, you are not created for this and this and this. The main purpose of your creation is to be obedient to me. No. That's why we say our kalama is La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. Our kalama could have been Allahu ilah. Lord, Allah is our God. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, no. Don't say Allahu ilah. Say La ilaha illallah. So first of all, denied anything else. Then say Allah is our God. So, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. So your creation is not for any other purpose. Your creation is only to be obedient. This is. So be obedient, don't be disobedient. Remember me, don't forget me. And be grateful to me, don't be ungrateful. These three things, these are the haqq of taqwa. Abdullah bin Masud says, this is what Rasulullah replied to me. This is the haqq of taqwa. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu taqullaha haqqa tuqatihi wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. This is, you go to the Jummah khutbah, there is recited. You go to any wedding, the khutbah nikah, this ayah has to be recited. This is part of the khutbah nikah. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu taqullaha haqqa tuqatihi wa la tamutunna illa wa antum muslimun. So you have to fulfill the haqq of taqwa, and that is the haqq of taqwa, is to show gratefulness, to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't forget. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب البشر خير الوقت لا إله إلا هو فاتخذه وكيلا واصبر على ما يقولون واهجرهم هجرا جميلا. This is again showing love to the Prophet. Oh my Prophet, these people are saying all these things about you. Just ignore them. Ignore them. And leave them with a nice way. As in another surah, وَأَمَّا السَّائِلَ فَلَا تَنْهَرْ. If somebody comes to ask, don't reject them. Reply in a nice way. So that's what for us is there. If somebody asks for anything, not in this country, nobody comes as a beggar to ask for money, but back home, in wherever you go back home, you see people coming. There are beggars on the street and everywhere. And sometimes they come and knock on your door asking for money and things like that. If you don't want to give, say salam and say, please go. I'm sorry, I can't give you anything. In a nice way, refuse them. Don't say, haven't got anywhere else to go. Why are you keep coming to my house? No. Don't reject them. But if you want to leave them, just say in a nice way, sorry, I haven't got anything at the moment. Please go ahead. Go to somebody else. So, hajran jamila, so in a nice way. وَمَسَائِلَ فَلَا تَنْفَعْ وَذَرْنِي وَالْمُكَذِّبِينَ أُولِي النِّعْمَةِ وَمَحْلِهِمْ قَلِيلًا. Again, and the patient on what they say and keep away from them in a good manner, and leave me and the deniers the possession of favors from me and give them a little. Now this ayah number 11 is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, don't worry about them, leave them to me. I am the one who is going to deal with them. And certainly the rest of the 3 ayah is addressed to the non-believers, giving them warning about what is going to happen to them in hell and what is going to happen in the Qiyamah, how things are going to be there. Inna ladayna ankaan wa jahima. Certainly with us are heavy fetters and hellfire. These non-believers are going to be chained in chains of fire. Astaghfirullah. So you have to say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Lamma fazna min kulli balai dunya wa zadil akhirah ya rabbil alameen. Whenever warning ayah comes, immediately turn to Allah to protect yourself and seek refuge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are seeking your refuge, protect us from your wrath. And only Allah is the one who can protect anybody from his wrath. It's only Allah. Nobody can protect. Okay? Even the shafaat is going to say, inshallah, the shafaat is going to be there. But you cannot go and ask anybody to do shafaat for you. It's only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give order for that person to do shafaat to you. Okay? As far as Allah, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is there, don't ask Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, oh, can you do shafaat for me? Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, put orders into your Prophet to do shafaat for me. Then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is going to. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum la ta'khudhuhu sinatun wa la nawm lahu ma fi as-samawati wa ma fi al-ardh man dhal ladhi yashfa'u indahu illa bi izni. Who is there to do shafaat on you except orders from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? So the shafaat is going to come, but only from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So whenever the ayah of warning comes, immediately seek protection from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We want you to protect us. And nobody can protect from the wrath of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then what's going to happen to this? وَالتَّعَامٌ ذَا غُصَّةٍ وَعَذَابٍ عَلِيمًا. And a food that chokes and a painful punishment. When the non-believers are hungry, the food they are going to eat, that is going to choke in their throat. And then the ayah of our Qiyamah are coming. يَوْمَ تَرْجُفُ الْأَرْضُ وَالْجِبَالُ وَكَانَتِ الْجِبَالُ كَثِيبًا مَحِيلًا. The day the earth will quake and the mountains too, and the mountains will become a heap of running sand. إِنَّا أَرْسَلْنَا إِلَيْكُمْ رَسُولًا شَاهِدًا عَلَيْكُمْ كَمَا أَرْسَلْنَا إِلَى فِرْعَوْنَ رَسُولًا. We have sent to you a messenger, a witness over you, as we had sent a messenger to the Pharaoh. Addressing to people of Quraysh, there is nothing new about this prophet. We have sent so many prophets, and you know about the story of Musa. Then similarly, I have sent a prophet to your nation. And this is like Musa sent to Bani Israel. فَعَصَى فِرْعَوْنَ الرَّسُولُ فَأَخَذْنَاهُ أَخْذًا وَبِيلًا. But Pharaoh disobeyed the messenger, so we seized him with a severe seizure. Drowned Pharaoh and his army. فَكَيْفَ تَتَّقُونَ إِن كَفَرْتُمْ ثُمَّ يَوْمٍ يَجْعَلُ الْوِلْدَانُ شِيبًا. If you reject, then how will you guard yourself on the day which will make children grey-headed? This is the Yawm al-Qiyamah. How many years of going to be the part of this day? 50,000, 100,000 months or years? This day is going to be a long, long day. If a person is born, by the time this day finishes, they will turn into old people. Or the fright of the day of Qiyamah is going to turn a young person to be an old person. This is the explanation there. And on which day the sky will be cleft asunder and his promise to be fulfilled. This is certainly a reminder to whoever wills, let him take away towards his Lord. And then this is the ayah number 19 finishes. Now ayah number 20. This is the whole ayah is revealed, and this is one ruku. And various Sahaba said that this ayah was revealed 10 years after the revelation of Surah Al Muzammil. Can you imagine? The Surah Al Muzammil is the first few ayahs revealed in Makkah. And the second ruku, the 20 ayah, part of Surah Al Muzammil is revealed 10 years after in Medina. So Surah Al Muzammil is the surah which is partly Makkah and partly Madani. And this ayah, where the promised and the orders were given to perform the Salatul Layl, Qiyamul Layl, the Tahajjud prayer, which was made like fard or wajib from the Prophet and the Sahaba. They used to be in congregation reciting this surah and this salah behind Rasulullah, or they used to perform in their houses. This was the only first salah given to them. And this ayah was revealed saying that now the farziyat of this Qiyamul Layl is taken away from you. This has become a nafil salah. Rasulullah said that after the 5 first salah, the best salah is Qiyamul Layl, the Salatul Tahajjud. So this, when the 5 prayers were made compulsory in Mi'raj, then this Qiyamul Layl was made nafil salah. So I'm going to just recite this. إن ربك يعلم أنك تقوم أدنى من ثلث الليل ونصفه وثلث وطائفة من الذين معك والله يقدر الليل والنهار علم أن لن تحصوا فتاب عليكم فاقرؤوا ما تيسر من القرآن علم أن سيكون منكم مرضى وآخرون يضربون في الأرض يبتغون من فضل الله وآخرون يقاتلون في سبيل الله فاقرؤوا ما تيسر منه وأقيموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة وأقرضوا الله قرضا حسنا ما تقدموا لأنفسكم من خير تجدوه عند الله هو خير وأعظم أجرا واستغفر الله إن الله غفور رحيم. Your Lord certainly knows that you stand for your worship in the Salah nearly 2/3 of the night and sometimes half of it or 1/3 of it, along with a party of those with you, and Allah measures out the night and the day. He knows that you are not able to keep count of the length of the night, so He has turned to you mercifully. Therefore recite as much of the Quran as you may easily forget. He knows that there will be some who are sick among you and others traveling in earth seeking from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's grace, and still others fighting in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So recite as much of the Quran as may be easy for you, and establish worship, the salah, and give charity, that is the zakah, and loan to Allah a good loan, and whatever of good you send in the advance for yourself, you will find it with Allah, and it will be better and greater in reward compared to your good deeds. And seek protective forgiveness from Allah. Allah is certainly protective, forgiving, merciful. This is other orders given about the performing of salah, giving zakah, and giving charity. There are a couple of few hadiths I'll mention before I finish this. Rasulullah asked the question to the Sahaba, which assets or money you love? The money which you have or the money of your children? Sahaba said, Rasulullah, we love the money which we have got, not our children's money. He says that, think before answering me again. They thought, and they say, yes, we still love our money and like our money which is with us than the money with our children. He said, no, what is going to happen? The thing you are thinking this is your money is not your money. The moment you close your eyes, your soul is taken, this money is going to go to your children. Yeah? Whoever is going to receive after you. So what you are loving is your money. The money which is going to be with you is the money which you have sent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The charity you have sent that is reserve. That is transferred to your external account. What we do, when we travel to our home country, what we do, we transfer some money to our bank in our country. So thinking that when we go that way, so when you go there, the money is there for you to take it. So that is what's happening. So whatever you say. One time it happened that a person brought a sheep, slaughtered it, cut pieces and brought. They used to cut the sheep in 4 parts. They want to give a gift to the Prophet. So somebody brought this. Aisha Radhiyallahu anha was there, and then was brought. And Rasulullah was not there. He came back later on, but by the time he came, people came asking on the door for food or something and so on. And Aisha Radhiyallahu anha used to cut a piece and gave the meat and gave the meat. By the time Rasulullah came, only one shoulder was left. He said, he came along and asked what happened. He said that somebody gave us a gift of a whole sheep, but everything has been spent. We only have got only one shoulder left. Rasulullah said, no, Aisha, only one shoulder is not left. The part you have donated, that has been saved for us. That is, we are going to get the benefit. This shoulder is left here for us to eat. But the one which you have distributed, that is the one which is saved for us. So that's why we used to go and ask Isa Islam, the Hawari, that why people are frightened of death. And Isa Islam replied, and this is a very, very good reply, remember it. He said, you fear death because you are worried about what is going to happen after death, because you haven't sent anything there for your external account. Okay? You have kept everything here, so you love this place, you stay here. You haven't sent anything there, that's you're frightened. Once I go there, suppose if you are traveling to a country and you haven't got any assets there, you haven't taken any money from here, you haven't taken your cards, no traveler's checks, yeah? And you haven't converted. The moment you are going to land, you will be frightened. How I'm going to survive, what's going to happen? That's the thing. But whoever has transferred for the hereafter, they will be looking forward when my time is going to come. When all these trials and tribulations are going to end, when I am going to meet my Allah, and when the window of Jannah is going to be open in my grave. And the grave, the angels are going to come and give me glad tidings that you are going to rest for a short while till everybody is going to stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So people are looking forward because they have sent their assets to the hereafter. So when this time is going to come, this is what we have to think about our assets. And we have to send to the hereafter so that when we die, there is enough and plenty of resources there for us. Let Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, please forgive if we have made any mistakes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give us to be able to complete the haqq of taqwa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give us tawfiq, understand and believe and act upon the orders you have given. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you are going to pass each and every person through trials and tribulations in this world. We are going to come across every hour, every minute, from time to time, things are going to come in front of us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give us tawfiq and help us to overcome over these trials and tribulations. Without your help, we cannot fight for any of these trials and tribulations. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whenever your ni'mah is given to us, make us to be grateful to you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, don't give us any minute or second when we are going to forget you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, don't leave us to be obeyed by our nafs. Not for even a second. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, don't humiliate us on the day of judgment. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, reward us to enter the paradise without going through any questions and going through the books. Because your Prophet ﷺ said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to send 70,000 people who are not going to be asked for what they have done. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us one of those 70,000 people who are going to enter paradise without being asked questions. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.